that's their daughter. They've been searching for her for years. She's been missing.
The truth is, like, my dad isn't entirely that superhero trope.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, like, he is dealing with his alcohol addiction and he always has been. And because he doesn't know, like, now that I'm older, he doesn't know how to regulate his emotions.
They don't necessarily realize that it's an addiction and that it's affecting the family. But for him, his vice is gambling. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was gambling, like, before he started working now, because it was a time he wasn't working, he didn't want to. But whatever money he would get, he would immediately go to Grand West. It was actually introduced to him by his own mother.
After I did mention that he's an alcoholic, it's like, yeah, but I'm functioning. So here's this father that was and is an alcoholic, and my mother also have her own alcohol issues. I've only seen that periodically when I lived with her briefly. And then my brother was on drugs and was part of a gang, and so he was like always stealing.
So he was actively part of the gang.
Except, yeah, he was in and out of prison, in and out of rehab, and now he's a 36-year-old father, and he's like, it changes a lot.
Every single Father's Day since I can remember, I've been cooking breakfast for my daddy. And you'd think that after 30 years, I'd be a pro, right? Wrong. Picture this. I'm standing in the kitchen, apron on, spatula in hand, and just as I crack an egg, bam! It breaks like it's auditioning for the messiest split of the year. Let's not forget, I only started eating eggs last year. I know. So it's been my culinary nemesis for like ever. Back in the day, it was either too runny, too salty, or just flat out burnt. One time I served him eggs so crispy they could have doubled as crackers. Don't get me started on the toast. He'd take one look at the toast, raise an eyebrow and say, "Yes, sis, this is a lot of butter, Tavia." And the coffee, wow. Sometimes too much milk. Other times, it was like liquid tar. But here's the thing about my daddy. He'd eat every bite. Burnt eggs, butter-changed toast, milky coffee, chaos and all. And at the end, he'd smile and say, "Thank you, my girl. But you know, you always cook way too much breakfast." It's not about the perfect breakfast. It never was. It's about that moment, sitting across the table, seeing him enjoy something I made with love. And maybe, just maybe, this year, the eggs won't fight me.
Welcome to Let's Talk Daddy, and I'm your daddy's girl, Tavia.
And I'm Ash, the girl working through her daddy issues.
Together we share real,
raw,
and relatable topics. Today we are diving into a heavy but also personal topic for me, and it's something that I've been wanting to really talk about. And that is the hidden weight of the caregiver addiction in South Africa. We are asking what happens when the stability we know is challenged by something like addiction. What happens when a parent is absent not by choice, but because they're battling something monumental.
I feel like that's something that is quite prevalent in South Africa. Addiction in some form. Usually like alcoholism, but I would say also gambling.
I've interestingly enough, I only know of like 2 people via someone else that knows people that have a gambling addiction and how it destroys the family. Apparently, it's like one of the worst addictions. Not every other addiction is worse, but it's the addiction that actually directly affects the entire household. Whereas someone that does Turk, yes, it affects the household, but it doesn't. The addiction doesn't directly affect them. Whereas someone stealing money for do gambling or selling furniture, so you don't have a house with clothes, or you don't have. Maybe it's the same in some sense.
I think it is the same in a sense, because like with alcoholism, it can lead to, doesn't always, but it can lead to things like violence. And that violence would affect whoever's in the household.
That's true.
Most of the time.
That's true.
Or with drugs, that does also affect this family in some way, because it's your items that are being stolen to fuel that addiction. Especially like the emotional labor that comes with it, where you constantly wanting to be there for the person, but you also just reach the end of your rope. Speaking of, there was actually this this local YouTuber, I think his name is Josh or something, and he shared a video on his Insta where he was like just showing town, and then there was a brief shot of this lady like in town, and this couple reached out and they said that's their daughter. They've been searching for years. She's been missing. She has a drug addiction, and they reached out if he has any other info, or if he saw her somewhere else. So then he collaborated with them to find her. And they were like driving around in the streets of town.
Like the town, yeah.
Yeah, like there by the taxi rank and...
the usual. And you can ask people around there, maybe they know her.
Yes, and they were trying to find her. Eventually they did. They took her home. Then they were trying to raise money.
Rehabilitate her or get her to rehab?
Yeah, they were trying to raise money to get her to rehab, and then she ran away. But then they found her again. And it's something that they were dealing with for a while.
I think one of the reasons I also wanted to do this episode, because in all the other episodes I talk about the super dad and the super dad trope and how my dad raised all 3 of us, but there is more truth to it, that he isn't just only a super dad who ate the burnt toast and burnt eggs on Father's Day, but he's also the alcoholic dad who doesn't know how to regulate his emotions. And as I'm older, I have more empathy and understanding about that. And in my household, with the 3 of us, we grew up, when you grow up with a chaotic parent or chaotic older person as a child, their emotions always dictate the household.
Yeah.
And when you look back at your childhood, like with my dad, drunk dad and sober dad dictated the emotion of the household. So I always had to find a way to, as some sort of emotional management for myself, I would say.
I would say not just for yourself, but for the parent as well. You have to emotionally manage them as well, which can be very difficult.
As a kid.
Yes, but not just as a kid, even as an adult, you're still seen as a child in your parents' eyes. So if they can't regulate their emotions and you are trying to instill some
regulation, it doesn't.
It's rejected.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
rejected.
I've had that also recently with my dad. Like, we got into a big fight, but I think that big fight led him to see me as an adult.
Oh.
Not really, but like, I think because he kept like arguing and shouting with me, and I shouted back, and he said, "You can't speak to me like that." And I think at this moment he's like, "Oh, I'm your father." I'm like, "Yes, but what does it mean if I allow a man to speak to me? What would you think of your daughter if she allows a man to shout at her like that?" That's what so I said, that's what you're supposed to teach me. You're supposed to be proud of me for doing that.
Yeah.
And I said, I understand that maybe your parents didn't teach you that, but you have opportunity. You are still alive. You have an opportunity to still teach me that and your grandchildren.
And to learn.
Yeah, and I think that changed. And this is me also talking to drunk dad. So drunk dad also doesn't remember any of this.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But at the same time, like, I realized through therapy and being older that my dad is never going to be a stable person. For someone that raised 3 kids all by himself, you won't get a stable person out of that. And I understand. I don't think it's right that he started drinking, became an alcoholic, but there's an understanding with your parent, and you understand why they have these vices.
For me, I don't know if I actually understand, because not necessarily with your situation, but like with Vincent, for example, I actually don't know if this is still a problem, but for him, his vice is gambling. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, it was gambling like before he started working now, because it was a time he wasn't working, he didn't want to. But whatever money he would get, he would immediately go to Grand West. And he would spend all of the money that he got. Like, he wouldn't buy food.
So immediately the paycheck, the payday is there.
Grand West. And what's, I would say, fucked up about that is it was actually introduced to him by his own mother, my granny.
Oh, that's an interesting generational addiction.
Because she loves going to Grand West, and she says,
you mentioned this, the grandma that always goes to Grand West, yeah.
And she says herself it's her happy place, which I feel is problematic in its own way to say.
A casino.
And there have been times, like, even like when I think it's like a rite of passage in her eyes, where once someone turns 18, she takes you to Grand West so that you can go. And I'm like, I never got the appeal, because I've gone with her. I've been there a few times, but if I go, I don't go to gamble. Like, I've played, I think I've gone twice to actually play, but it wasn't by choice. It's because I was
you're
with
filling
someone.
Time and you're passing time or whatever. When
No, it was more because of the person that I was with, not really like I'm going there to I can fill the time by going to the cinema or playing games. You know, I'll go to the arcade. But sitting there and you're just like sitting and just, you know, pulling the thing, or you're pressing a button, you're seeing all these colors and all these sounds, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. But then you see people, like, it's so odd seeing how addicted some people are to it, because like you walk around and some people look like husks, where they're waiting in anticipation until they get that perfect role, or they're just sitting like pressing the button.
It's a dopamine. They're waiting for the next dopamine fix.
It's so odd.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's something that he's stopped. This is now referring to Vincent. I don't know if it's something.
Present day now.
Yeah, but that's an addiction that I can't really understand. Even with alcoholism, I can be more understanding towards it.
It's like a antidepressant, like drugs and alcohol. But I can see gambling as being an antidepressant.
How is it an antidepressant though?
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna. Oh no, I can't.
You see,
I can't see it.
you're not going there to satiate whatever emotions you're going through.
With alcohol and drugs, you know the exact outcome, that you're going to be numb, that you're going to be high, or you're going to be passed out.
You're not going to worry about your troubles.
Yeah.
It's not the same with gambling.
That's so interesting. Yeah. I also didn't know that Vincent had like this gambling addiction.
But the thing is also, like, I don't think he saw it as an addiction.
They never do, though.
They never do. That's the problem. And I feel like one of the difficulties with alcoholism and drugs as an addiction is, especially like with your parents, they're at that age where if you suggest some form of rehab, even though it will be good, it's, I don't know if it's seen as a weakness to accept it, or it's
because this is coming from the child.
Yes.
So it's like, what do you know? What do you like with my dad with this alcoholism? It was more of, if I would say, why don't you spend less money on it? Or why don't you try and sober up? Or why don't you go and do this? Or if I outright had mentioned that he's an alcoholic, it's like, yeah, but I'm functioning. I'm going to work. I pay for your school fees. I put food on the table.
Or this is how I relax.
I've always got, I'm functioning. I'm a functioning alcoholic. I can drive my car. I work
but
all these days. I put food on the table. So it's not really. So why do you think it's destroying the family when I'm giving you the clothes that you're wearing? That's what. But you're gonna make a justification for your.
Yeah.
You go, or anyone's going to, you know.
It's so sad because they're also so deep in this addiction that they don't see the effect that it has. And like, even though they're physically present, like physically there within the house, you're not actively present because you're so consumed by that addiction. You don't realize how it affects your family if you're drunk and you're in a mood, or you are prioritizing alcohol instead of doing things with your family. Like it's these little things that are actually the problem.
It's always the small things, yeah.
But to them, it's like, but I can do the basic things. So it's like, yeah, you can, because you've been doing it for so long. It would be, you know.
I think for me, it's not only is this episode from like personal about my family, about my family's addictions and different addictions, but it's always been something that I see within the colored community, drug and alcohol addiction. And not only is it's more rampant now, but I not only just experience the alcohol addiction, but I also experience the drug addiction with my brother being on drugs. So my brother, well, I mean, this is his story to tell, but I'll give a framework of it. But he started drugs at 14 and he was involved. And we were talking about it the other day. He's 35 now. And he was like, Tavia, like, I just realized that I did drugs and I was trying to join a gang at 14. And I was 10 years old.
Damn.
I was 10 years old. So it's like I got this experience of not...
Wait, there's a 4-year difference between you?
Yeah. It's...
No, that's not right. Because you're turning 32.
So then what does that make?
So then didn't you say he's 34 now?
He's 35.
35, it's a 3-year difference.
No, then he's turning 36 this year.
Oh, okay. Well, math wasn't mathing now for me.
Yeah, and so here's this father that was is an alcoholic, and my mother also have her own alcohol issues. I've only seen that periodically when I lived with her briefly. And then my brother was on drugs and was part of a gang, and so he was like always stealing.
So he was actively part of the gang.
Except, yeah, He was in and out of prison, in and out of rehab. And now he's a 36-year-old father, and he's like, it changed his whole life.
So did parenthood change that for you?
I think parenthood was the responsibility he needed. Like, this does not appeal to me at all.
Very interesting.
Yeah. But I think the thing about all of that is when you look at the colored community, it fits within all the stereotypes. We robbers, we do tuck, we alcoholics, and
We're violent.
We're violent, and that is all true. But it's more to it than that. And it's like, I also want to tell colored people, you're more than just a Friday black label that you're gonna get on payday. Like, why don't you know what I mean? Like, that's always like, they always like, the day they get paid is black labels. Like, why don't you take your family to the movies? I see it every weekend. The neighbors is playing music. When there's money on a Friday, there's music, and there's alcohol.
And there's alcohol, and then it eventually leads to a fight or an argument.
There's people are always shouting.
That's the sad thing also, like with a lot of people within the colored community. Look, I'm not saying don't drink, everyone has their way of unwinding, but then the problem becomes when you use it as an excuse to raffle out. Where you've had this issue that was on your mind for the longest time.
No, well,
like,
ek may sê.
Yes, you have that liquid courage. Now you're gonna say all these things like, you can't rely on something like alcohol to resolve your issues, because it's never gonna resolve them. It's just gonna keep you within that space, that mindset, that
is a loop.
Yes.
It's a generational loop, and I also understand that for generations, black and colored communities and lower class communities just never had access to break an emotional generational trauma, or how to just regulate. I'm still learning how to do that. Like, I'm learning that every day. And I just see like these men are just breaking under this pressure, and they resort to like they're actually using a bottle and a dick lolly and like whatever other vices and gambling as a survival mechanism, because they also weren't taught that. I mean, I'm adding a lot of empathy to it, but I'm also wondering if it's because of historical issues within our community that has led us to become these people known as thieves and robbers and violent people, or is it because we actually enjoy the systematic cycle of doing this? It could actually be both.
I think people do enjoy the systematic cycle, but also it can be limiting if you don't know any other way, if you don't know anything else. Because if you're not going to buy your black label and have a couple of drinks with friends on a Friday, what else are you gonna do?
I mean, there are people, I know Christians that don't drink and they still play board games.
Yeah,
I think
but
that they need to teach
not
themselves.
something that everyone does. Or if there's cards or dominoes involved, for example, that's an alternative.
Yeah.
But then you can't have fun without having a drink. It's also it's that over reliance also, and I would say it's also habitual.
It is habitual.
Because it's like, are we going out? So are we going to this person for the weekend to braai? We must have this and that and that and the other. Or if you're organizing a party, there must be this and that and that and the other. Or I find it so interesting when sometimes people do that thing where they display the bottles that they drank and they put it.
Oh, I've also noticed. I
don't like it.
I feel that I noticed that more so now because TikTok has made it available, and I see people like will display crates of Savannahs during December. And I'm like, this is...
Why? Because it's you're just flexing what you are drinking. It's not going to bring you anywhere. It doesn't help you move forward in any sense. It doesn't add value
I think
to
it's
your
to be
life.
like, look, hey,
I can afford this. Is it an affordability thing?
I mean,
Because
saying you can afford Savannah is not a flex.
Not
but
Savannah per se, but like people like to flex, like, oh, we have this Hennessy.
or it's the amount of alcohol that you have. And I think it's a status. It's a status thing.
Yeah, it's the amount and also the price, I would say.
Yeah.
The
And then
price
it's also like, look, we're having a party.
Look, here we
Like,
have the two.
yeah.
What is not Johnny? Is it Johnny Walker? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Blue Label or
and
something?
Red Label.
Yes. And these alcohol, the alcohol goes for ridiculous prices.
I mean, there's a Don Julio that I want, but it's like, the thing is, I do want it for the fact that, oh my word, I have a Don Julio tequila bottle, the shape of the bottle. I want to also try it. But it's not something that I would, because I know the value of it. It's like one shot, or I won't even drink it in the first month that I even buy it. It's because that value. It's like I want to savor it.
You want to savor it?
It's just like something I just don't. I don't know what it is. I don't want to like down like 1,000 rand.
Yeah, you wanted to have meaning and value.
Yes.
I have a bottle of rum. I don't know what's the name, but it's from Mauritius and it was given to me as a gift.
That's
I have
nice.
it for over a year now and I haven't touched it at all because I'm just waiting for a meaningful occasion that will justify me opening it, you know? Because
You will know.
yes,
I always say that you will always know when is the right time to be. Oh,
Yeah.
It's gonna hit you in its instinct. It's just gonna
Be
come
like-
to mind.
it's now's
Nosy
the
date.
moment.
Nosy date.
Crack open the bottle.
Let's go.
But for anything else, I've recently just taken such a liking to mead. Like, it's so nice.
I still need to. I want to try it. I
should actually go for the tasting. The
I wanna
tasting
do it.
in Music Web because that's fun because it's 5 different meads. It's
So mead is honey,
fermented honey.
fermented honey.
And for the longest time, I also assumed that it was a European thing, you know, like with Vikings.
Is it not?
It has African roots. The way that the company does it, they use African fermentation processes. Because, okay, I'm not going to explain the whole thing because I feel like this is going off track. But try it. Actually, go for the tasting.
I'm gonna do it. I think
But back to the topic at hand.
now back to the topic at hand. We are talking about how substances is literally destroying the Cape Flats. I've actually heard I have younger cousins that were when they were in high school. They were telling me about all the shenanigans they would catch on. Shenanigans.
That's such an old thing.
Such
a
an old-
boomer.
Shenanigans, tomfoolery.
Yes.
But this cousin of mine was saying like the people are doing like coke in the class.
What?
That was my
That's
reaction.
wild.
You know there's kids that vape in class now.
I
That's
don't get vaping. I
crazy.
don't get vaping. Like it's.
Because remember in our day you would like hide it. You could smoke a cigarette, but not that I would
never
smoke. I
smoked
don't know, but you remember the
cigarettes
kids
at
that do, the kids
Yeah.
that did smoke, they smoking by the trees or the bushes or so, and then if they have, or like they will roll a joint or so. How are they doing cocaine in high school
But
and
the only,
vaping?
that's wild. The only drug, air quotes drug that I did was weed. My first experience of it was at school, but it was an edible.
Oh my goodness, I also had a
It
horrible
was an edible. Weirdly, I never tried like smoking. It just never appealed to me. Yeah, you would drink, but I think my mom was also aware of it. Because for her, I think it was like, if you're gonna do these things, do it in my house. Don't do it
That's
outside.
also another thing I want to talk about, like in different households, and I don't think this is just like a colored thing or a black thing or a white thing, but I think it's like almost every household, I've heard the parents say, I would rather want them to do it under the house, like in the house, so that I know. Because I think it's about surveillance, because if your kid is somewhere on a veld or somewhere at some other club or whatever, there are so many elements of danger when they are drunk. So I also understand why parents do say they do it under my house. But maybe that's better than, or not. I feel like, what are you also introducing to their child's life?
You introducing alcohol at a very
you see what I
young
mean?
age,
So it's like,
yes.
I think as a parent you have to make a very difficult choice.
I think,
yes, you can drink in front of me when we party. You guys can come drink here.
I think it's more because you know your kids are gonna do
They're
it,
gonna
man.
you were a
Gonna
kid.
do it
You were a kid.
in any case. So if you're gonna do it, rather do it safely. Because when you block your kids from doing things, they find a way to do it. I can remember there was this neighbor that we used to have. She wouldn't want her daughter to, like, the daughter wouldn't really go out and stuff.
She never had this socializing.
She didn't have a social life. The mob, I think
But
maybe
that's when but that's when they're older, then raak hulle uit.
she did actually. I think
CJ.
it's because she was an only child and they were
even worse.
much older than her. Like,
Oh, they were older parents.
yes, they were older parents, because dad was like already grandpa age. Like, they were older. And they always had a hold on her, like from primary school. Like, she was just socially awkward and things, because I don't think she really had the opportunity
Social skills. To be
yeah. And then, but the mom always watched me. She would always tell my mom, like, she's going out, or she had a boy over.
No, calm
Bear in mind, it was a boyfriend that my mom knew about. And
You can't be that. That's boring.
no, but like, she was always watching, and she assumed, I don't know what she assumed, but then it turns out like her daughter was the one that fell pregnant.
It's always
I found that funny.
It's always like that.
I found that funny. I was like, yeah, because you're watching me. I still don't have kids.
You're watching me, but meanwhile your daughter's crawling out the window.
But and this time it was wild, because the daughter would like leave the house at like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. And she'd be like, no, the line at the clinic, it gets long very quickly. So she has to go early. Can't, she's going to the birth.
At 4 a.m. I don't
Yes.
have that type of commitment. I'm
Yes.
sorry. At 4 a.m.
I found that hilarious. I was like, what kijk is this? Also, how does the mom believe her? The mom genuinely believed her. And then when she found out she's pregnant, her mom panicked and she cried to my mom. And my mom found it funny, because she was also like, because you're watching other people's kids,
Yeah.
but you don't watch your own. And look what happens.
It's true. That's funny. Come on. With like my brother, what I actually realized with my brother's addiction was like the amount of rehabs that there is available.
Yeah.
And I always thought that rehabs was a luxury. But there are different forms of rehabs and halfway houses. And he even went to one in Pretoria. I mean, I'm not saying they're great. There is forced labor like this. So that also, what I realized with my brother, like all the rehabs, and like he was in and out of jail, then he went to prison. Like most of the rehabs from a teenage age, like when he was a teenager, it also gives him more trauma.
Oh.
Because you're being dropped off by a place.
Like the mistreatment.
There's a lot of mistreatment.
And abuse.
And abuse.
Look at Paris Hilton.
Yeah, and that there is truth to it. And it's like, so here we have a community, right, where there's this cycle, there's this generational cycle, where there's tuck, where there's alcohol, now there's coke in schools, you know. So now you have a child that's addicted. So now you're trying to find some sort of rehabilitation center, and you're putting your faith in this system. I'm not saying they're all like that. I'm really not saying they're all like that. But it's also like you risking putting a teenager in that situation, and you're not there.
You don't know how it's gonna be.
You believe these people, and there's also mistreatment there. So it's like now your child is constantly not only gonna have abandonment issues, addiction issues, but they're gonna have authority issues.
And they're also gonna probably they could also associate the trauma of that place with you. Like you put me there, even though you didn't know it was actually going to turn out like that, and you had good intentions at heart. It's like it's your fault that I became this way.
So it's almost like, why must I go to rehab then? I can just
Stop.
Because
I have this under control.
I have this under. Why? So there probably are people that have family members like myself that have been through rehab, and maybe they're also struggling with their own addiction, and then they're like, no, but I saw what this cousin went through. I'm not gonna go to rehab. I'm just gonna continue this. So it's a weird. How do you get out of the system? Like what is it? And then what if I do find a rehab? Like I know there are great rehabs, but it's ridiculously the high-end rehab facilities are like, some of them are like 10 rand a month, right?
That's insane.
Do you think my dad with 3 children and single could pay 10 rand a month to take his son to that?
But what are the differences in these rehabs?
I think is there a difference in the programs? One of the rehabs that my brother went to, it was very church. It was a church rehab.
Oh, that doesn't sound.
So you would farm, you would do all of this labor, but the way they would punish you, air quotes, you would have to.
Punishment?
You would sit on a bench throughout the night. You just sit on the bench. You're sitting on the bench outside, and
outside.
Yeah, in the middle of the cold. Yeah, you sit outside.
Damn.
So then there were other rehabs we went to where there was a social worker. So that works as group therapy. But the thing with that is you also need to introduce the parent. You need to introduce the parents to these therapy sessions.
Yeah.
You need to have family therapy. You can't also bring you can't bring religion into it. I personally believe that, because what if this person grew up in a strict Christian household? They're gonna have
what if they don't believe in those religious values?
Whereas I think probably high-end rehabs
focus more on art.
They do these psychology sessions, one-on-one couch sessions. I had a family member, they went to this place for like 3 weeks. And it really helped the bond that I had with them. Right? So what she had to do, she would sit one-on-one with a therapist every single day, and there was art as well. I think one of the things that also scared her was that there were other people that are far more unstable and chaotic, so that little bit scared her. But they also keep you safe in your room. They know which category to put certain people on.
Okay.
And then she would have a therapy session, and then you allowed to text. You can still communicate with your family and stuff like that. So then she would text me and be like, what is one thing that you think we can work on? My therapist has asked us. So
that's actually quite cool.
So that's helpful, because maybe sometimes the family member or the parent can't really come to the session, but you can still message and phone them. And then I would write a long message about, this is one of the issues I had, and this is how I felt. And that strengthened the bond that I had. So I think that's probably one way to do it. And then also there's not just psychologists, but the psychiatrist. So the psychiatrist is the one that gives you medication. So where my psychologist will teach you like cognitive behavioral, will teach you different techniques to regulate yourself. Art therapy could be one way to regulate. Where maybe my therapist might tell me, why don't you write a script? You're a writer. So maybe that's how I read it.
It's quite interesting actually.
Yeah, so that's what I think it is. I think that's the difference in the rehabs, and I think that needs to be more accessible to the lower crowd. Not just in terms of price, but I think advertising. Because a lot of people don't know this. So like advertise within the townships, advertise these places so that people know, and it can be a name brand. Like everyone knows about the Betty Ford rehab in Hollywood.
I don't.
It's a well-known Betty Ford rehab. All the celebrities go there.
No.
So maybe we should have maybe we do have our video of Betty Ford. I've never been to rehab, so I wouldn't know what the best rehab is here. But like, yeah, I think rehab should be far more
accessible.
And I think it also, we should talk about this in life orientation. We should talk about it in school.
One thing I actually wanted to just touch on is where you were saying about therapy. I think also one of the problems, not really a problem, but one of the issues when it comes to therapy is that it's just the person experiencing the issue that goes to therapy. So now you going and you learning these communication skills or emotional regulations and things, you putting in the work, but it doesn't really, it helps you with what you are experiencing and how to deal with it. But what if your environment doesn't change? What if it's a situation where you started drinking because things weren't good within your household, and now you're coming back with all of these tools, but your environment hasn't changed? Your parents aren't communicating the way you were taught communication is supposed to be. You know?
It's funny that you say that, because that's actually one of the things my brother brought up, and it's one of the things that we noticed as well. So how does someone go to rehab, then come back, and they are still within the community where they have access to drugs, where they have access to these gangs, and where they know how to steal within the house that they live in. So it's like the environment doesn't change. You can go. Also, when I went to therapy, you learn communication just like you are learning communication with you. And then when you talk to your parents,
it doesn't.
It's like hitting a wall.
Yes.
And I think with my brother, like what we had to do, that's why one of the reasons he went to rehab in Victoria, was he needed to get away from the environment.
Because that's why it's easy to relapse, because your circumstances don't change.
It doesn't change, but I also think that you also need to be resilient. And I know it's a cheap thing. Tavia, you don't understand addiction, you can't say that. Like, I realized with therapy when I went, I just have to push. I just also have to be resilient, and I have to accept that my dad is gonna be the alcoholic, that this is dad, that he doesn't know how to emotionally regulate, and that yes, I can try and communicate differently with him, but I need to accept that he's not going to be able to communicate or know how to communicate effectively, because he's not the one sitting next to me in therapy. And then you have to ask yourself, maybe I should bring dad with me.
I was just going to ask, don't you think you should?
But think about it. Think about it. Go to your mom now and say, come with me to therapy.
I actually brought that up to her, where I told her I think she should consider going for therapy.
And it doesn't come from a place, it doesn't come from a place of, I think you so, because you know how people are, jy's so dom, jy's so mal, jy moet nou therapy toe gaan. It doesn't come from that place.
It doesn't come from that.
It actually comes from a place of helpfulness.
Yeah, because I can't solve your problems for you.
But I want to show you how.
Yes. And I brought it up to her, and then she said she feels like if she goes for therapy, it means that she's weak because she can't deal with her own issues. And then I told her, like, I go to therapy. Do you think that I'm weak? And she couldn't answer. It was very difficult, and then she said no, and I'm like, so why is it weak?
Because my daughter is braver and far smarter. I think if you think like a parent, like,
I don't think she saw it as bravery.
oh, is it?
I don't think she
I
saw
would see it as that if my child said, like, because you want the best for your child. I would be like, that's good. I want the best for you. I want you to figure out what to. But then again, we are new. We're different. We would be different parents. Yeah, it's.
It is a mindset thing because then I asked her, how many times are you gonna keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result?
Forgiving people and it's mistreating you.
You've been doing this for years and it hasn't resolved. So why not change your methods?
I say that with my dad as well because my mom manipulates my dad at every turn. She's a pathological liar. She always wants to get money. And he will always answer the call. Sometimes he doesn't. But then we deal with the brunt of it. We deal with your mom is saying, your mommy this, your mommy that. And I say, just put down the phone.
Yeah.
Put down the phone. That's a boundary that I set with my mother. Set their boundary. Learn to say no. But it's because of these web of lies. You actually don't know what to do. You start second guessing yourself. Maybe she does need this money. Maybe she is really like sick, or maybe there is people coming to our house threatening her because she owes them money. You know what I mean? So it's like you also holding yourself hostage. But I think at the same time
that also, and I think with parents and family, what boundaries are. They don't necessarily understand it. They don't understand what boundaries are. And when you try to enforce them,
when it comes to family.
Yeah, when you try to enforce them, it's like, oh, she don't like us, or she's rude, or it's like that.
Then you're left to feel like the outcast and abandoned, and you actually don't want that. You actually want family. You actually want the support because you want
it
them
in
to
a
come.
Healthy way.
Yes, you want them to come for Christmas now. If I set this boundary, then no one's gonna come care. No one's gonna WhatsApp me, or you know what I mean.
So you just bear with it through gritted teeth, but you still don't want it.
Yeah, it's sad. I'd be too scared to sit with my dad next to therapy. I can't see it. I don't ever see my dad sitting down and actually. I don't see it.
I would invite my mom, but I don't think she would be able to deal with it. And the thing is, like, we've been introducing art therapy into the sessions now.
How's that going?
It's actually quite interesting because I thought it was just going to be, I'm going to draw my feelings. But it isn't. Like, the activity that I got was where she drew 5 circles. And then the 4 circles I had to name, like the things that affect me the most. And then within the circle, I have to write what are the expectations of it. So it could be things like society,
so it's
your
not just
family.
Like
Yeah. And then the 5th circle is you and what your expectations are for yourself. It was very interesting.
Which one was the hardest?
All of them were. All of them were, because I actually had to sit down and think about it and feel it also as I'm writing. So I think something like that, it would be challenging for my mom to do, because now you have to really sit down with your thoughts.
The thing is, you also haven't strengthened that neural pathways of your. It's a new. Your brain is like, this is a new activity, and your brain doesn't know how to handle it. And when you have a parent that's also an addict, their brain also can't handle it because of the addiction type of thing. So I think it would be hard for my dad with his alcohol addiction, because alcohol addiction also kills the neurons, or it kills something in the. So you can't form. New patterns.
Okay.
You struggle, coupled with his dyslexia.
Oh.
So he
So
can't.
that could even make him feel like lesser than or
So
incapable.
imagine him sitting with me doing art. That he just would get up. He's like, I don't have time for this, and that's usually his attitude towards majority of things in his life. If I introduce something new, I don't have time for this because it's a fear. It is an insecurity, and then you realize I've come to realize now that my dad's retired, I'm parenting him. I'm the parent. I actually made a
Which
joke.
is so weird.
It's my friend as well, Stephanie. She also said, it's funny now because we're in our 30s and we realize we the
parents.
And I said to my one friend, and this guy, I was like, I don't think I can have children because I'm raising my dad.
Yeah, like parenting my mom, it just reinforces the fact that I do not want kids because like
It makes me question it.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, oh my god.
we go to the mall and then she wants to buy all this. I'm like, we have that at home. There's no money for this. You don't need it. Put it back. Stuff like that.
You realize you saying put it back.
And then she just looks at me like,
It's weird when you realize
it's really strange. I actually have a question like about addiction. So we've touched on gambling, alcohol, and drugs.
Yeah.
What about addictions like sex? Or what is it? Kleptomania?
Oh, where they steal stuff.
Yes. Or
You know what I think about that? Now that you mention kleptomania, like people stealing stuff. Because there's even like, I always heard of like celebrities getting caught.
Yeah.
And they're stealing stuff. I think that is an adrenaline. It's a spike in adrenaline. Because
Yes.
if I take something,
no one knows. It's my
I don't know what this is. Someone could have seen. It's that when when you're exiting the store, it's an adrenaline spike.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually an addiction to
The adrenaline.
the adrenaline.
But how do you deal with that as a family? With like sex addiction, for example, what if your parent is a sex addict and you're still living with him?
Oh,
How do you address that?
how
do you address it?
How would you even?
Because it is a thing.
It
I don't know if it's prevalent within our communities, but I feel it's also something that people wouldn't really discuss because
There's a lot
he
of
just likes to have
shame.
sex.
Every
Or
addiction is shameful, but that it's like
you're sleeping with so many people. I don't think many people even consider that it could be an addiction that someone is experiencing.
even
with
like
sex.
people that constantly like you get serial dating.
Yes.
I'm convinced that's an addiction. I feel like I had a friend that was just, she never took time for herself. Constantly like in a relationship with
But I think that's when you can't
But that's
be
maybe
with
not
your
an
own.
addiction. That's just an anxious. Well, I'm anxiously attached, but I can't see myself constantly going on a date and in a relationship. There are moments where I want to be. I just wanna lose my eight.
But I think that would tie into with like when you're incapable of doing some self-reflection, because if you're going on serial dates, the question is, why are you going on serial dates?
Because you can't be alone.
The common denominator in those is you. You're the one that's going on the dates, all these dates with the people. So what is the inner work that you aren't doing? Why is it that you can't be alone with yourself for a moment, for a couple of months? Why is it that you need to be with someone?
I think that has to do with clingy parents as well. Like, don't leave my side, don't leave my side. And then you get those clingy moms with the sons.
Oh, the boy moms.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's some nasty shit to be present.
That human isn't good for you. Why? Because your son's gonna move on and have a family.
And there was like a trend that people will do on TikTok
It's
where
a
they'll
trend?
not a trend, but people. I would say a trend. Nowadays, everything's a trend. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just a TikTok trend because it's probably popular on TikTok.
where they would make videos like, I'm teaching my son to cook because he's not going to eat your daughter's
food.
Yes, and I'm like, what? Okay, cool. It's cool that you are teaching your child
But stop there.
independence.
Stop
but
there.
Yes. Now you battling with a kid that you don't even know exists.
It's like mom sons and mom daughters competing with each other. So then it's like, I'm teaching my daughter to be more independent because your sons are. It's probably versus each other, and I think that's what it probably is.
But doesn't that also come with a bit of projection in a sense?
It does.
So just coming back to the topic at hand of these realities of parents not wanting to
Go to therapy.
What
Or
is
scared.
Yeah. How can we help them be more open to it? How can we make therapy seem more accessible to them? Because I think that's also another issue with it. They think it's expensive. Or it's expensive, or it's not what we do.
It's not for ornaments.
How do we change the mindset towards that?
I think I need to find a way to make it accessible for my dad through YouTube. He's like on YouTube a lot.
Okay.
And he watches a lot of historical
Actually,
and he's on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook.
My mom's on TikTok a lot.
So then we need to figure out a way to change
what do I
the
steal?
algorithm.
Do I steal her phone?
Yes.
Watch some TikToks about therapy while she's not? But she always has a phone.
But then you must talk about our phone is listening to us. Our phone is listening to us. It was so funny because when I was getting my nails done yesterday, I was talking about my breakup with my nail tech. But then I went on Instagram feed, and then
Breakup songs.
No, all the Instagram feed is like, you an independent girl.
No, but isn't it also because of the season of Gemini? Could also be that.
It could probably be, but it was funny because I was showing her, look at this, like, you don't need him, you're an independent girl. And I'm like,
That's
Natalie,
funny,
this phone is listening. This phone is, so now all my feed, so now Instagram knows I'm going through a breakup, but
so maybe it's going to start
with our
suggesting that AI chats.
what do you mean?
You know, you get those AI chats like where you get like your AI boyfriend and those apps.
God.
Maybe it's gonna start suggesting that.
Oh God, maybe I should do an AI therapist for my dad. Maybe that's what I should do.
No,
But
shit,
like,
don't do that.
that's one of the, like, I think I should kind of doctor his algorithm. But the thing
But how are you gonna do that?
Because he watches YouTube on the TV. So when he goes to the shop or something, I can just, like, on his profile, I can just start searching therapy stuff. How to get sober. How to get sober in 30 days. And then it starts feeding and starts feeding. But then, like, that also doesn't feel genuine.
It doesn't. I think
But there's a part of it where you need to actually accept that this is who they are.
Nah, man, no.
Like,
I don't want to accept that. I know you should, but I don't want
because you still have hope. You believe in them, but there's a part where I am like, I have to accept it to move on.
I think, okay, yes, that is true.
Because it's affecting my mental health, and it will always affect.
So at the end of the day, you need to just like cut ties in a sense. Is that what you're suggesting? Because
I would never cut ties with my dad, but
no, I don't mean like cut ties where it's like, I'm not your daughter. You're not,
but
not like that.
Set
but
certain
like,
boundaries.
I think like making the idea seem as if it's their own. That's always one of the. It's a challenging but an easier way to get someone to do something. It sounds a bit manipulative, but
It is.
not really the intention. But yeah,
But it's when you want the best for them. But I mean, our parents manipulated us as toddlers growing up, so it's now reversal. Now
I'm the parent now, so I can.
I'm the captain now.
It's my ship.
It's my ship.
I don't know how you would make it seem like it's their idea. Actually, I'm thinking of this now. Now that I'm thinking.
Don't worry, Mom's not going to listen to this episode.
No, she won't. But for Mother's Day, we were gonna go somewhere. I gave her options. And then she chose. So maybe I can do something like that where I give her options of things we can do, but they are like slowly within like therapy in some sense.
How? Okay,
Like-
let's go to this art class. Okay, let's go to this building and then, oops, there's a therapist sitting here. Oh,
No, not like that. That's a bit, what is it? What's the word that I'm looking for? Not sabotaging, that's a bit,
conniving.
not the word, but for lack of a better word, yeah. Maybe I can say like, oh, let's go out. We can actually go out, next month. These are some things that we can do. Maybe we can try something with art. Maybe we can go to some sort of discussion.
That's good. There's a lot of like
Yes.
workshops in Cape Town and stuff.
Yes, like suggesting workshops and things, and then that can slowly introduce her into that into that environment and into those discussions. And then I think that would eventually open her up to the suggestion more, because now she's seeing other people within her age group or within her community that are also doing these things, and maybe she liked how she felt. Yes, I figured it out.
Let us know how it goes on the next episode.
I should actually do it. I'm gonna do
I'm
that.
curious. Keep us posted. Posted. Okay, we have reached the end of this personal, therapeutic,
Raw, real, relatable.
episode. And for our listeners navigating these cycles, this is our Daddy Takeaway segment, where we either wrap it up with the final quote, funny quote, or advice, thoughts about this episode.
What's your takeaway?
My dad showed me a lot of love by showing up, and I shouldn't expect him to not break through difficult times, because yes, I put him under the super dad, the hero. He's still human, and there were moments where he slipped, where he braked, where he probably did a lot of things that he regrets. And I have a lot of empathy for his brokenness. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna choose to break that cycle, whether I have a child or not. So it doesn't matter if I don't. But I'm gonna learn to emotional regulate. I'm gonna really try my best so that I do not become the alcoholics like both of my parents, because it's in us. It's like my mother drank when she was pregnant with me and my brother. That's why I was a premature baby. So you get these alcoholic babies. So that's why alcohol is so easy. It's probably because your mother drank during the pregnancy. It's so easy for you to drink. It's something because you drank before you were born. So I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna try, and I'm constantly gonna believe in myself, and not just myself but the color community, because it's such a personal topic that I do think we need to talk about more. We need to figure out a way to not fall into this addiction and these stereotypes,
and to socialize without the need for it.
Yes. I think that's my daddy takeaway for this episode.
Okay, daddy. My takeaway, I would say my takeaway from this is maybe the opposite of yours, where
What a shocker.
you can have hope, but yeah, I guess it's also the same way. It's like you can have hope that they will change, but the change needs to come from them, man. And if it doesn't work for you, there's no shame in not necessarily cutting ties, but keeping your distance, or keeping your distance, or having a hard, not the reset, but instilling those boundaries and being relentless about it. Because at the end of the day, if you're going for therapy to deal with the effects of the addiction within your parents and the environment, in other words them, doesn't change, there's no reason for you to continue being in that environment if it isn't good for you. You can remove yourself from it, or distance yourself from it if that's what's good for you. But if it's
made
possible,
to feel guilty, it's a sort of sad thing.
It's not your shame to bear.
Yeah.
But if it's possible, introduce them to therapy as well.
Yeah, introduce your parents and anyone that's struggling with addiction. Maybe your own child if you're listening to this.
The tools are there to be used.
There is so many other tools, but you and I both strongly believe in therapy. Maybe someone else doesn't. Maybe I want to take them to my pastor. I want to take them to my imam or my rabbi.
Yeah.
In that case, so I want to introduce them to the Hindu culture, or Buddhist, or meditating, or whatever the case.
Or try hiking, join a hiking club or something.
So many.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is actually a beautiful takeaway. That is the 11th episode of Let's Talk Daddy. So follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Let's Talk Daddy. And stay tuned for the next episode. And please do not forget to subscribe, rate, and comment on YouTube and Spotify. I'm Tavia, your daddy's girl.
And I'm Ash, the girl with daddy issues.
Let's Talk Daddy is brought to you by Millhouse Media, home of storytelling.
Cold opening title: Father's Day Breakfast. Tavia as herself. This episode is written by Tavia Mulwood.
Coming up in the next episode of Let's Talk Daddy.
Today, on our very last episode for the first season, we share real,
Raw.
and relatable topics.
For me, being raised by essentially a single mom, I learned very early on how to be independent and to take charge. But tapping into the softer, more intuitive side, it took time.
Growing up, I had to bottle up my emotions. Is that all to a woman? The physical sense, the dress, the curly hair, the makeup, the nails. And I was like, and I couldn't, and I was stumped. I couldn't answer.
I always felt out of place with them because it felt like I was pantomiming femininity. What do you think it takes to truly embrace both sides of yourself? That femininity and masculinity.
I feel like you're asking me this question first so that you can figure out your answer.
Oh my fucking word. How do you balance? Okay, do you want me to answer?